We begin with new American airstrikes inside Syria overnight. A monitoring group says the bombing took place near Abu Kamal along the Iraqi border. They are the latest attacks in what the Obama administration says will be a long campaign against ISIS and the terror group called Khorasan.
The airstrikes in Syria started Monday, and this morning we're getting a better idea of how successful they've been. David Martin is at the Pentagon with new details about the latest American action. David, good morning.
Good morning. U.S. and Arab aircraft continue to fly reconnaissance missions over Syria, assessing the damage done by Monday night's raid. And overnight, they spotted an ISIS staging area near the Iraqi border and launched 2 strikes against it. But there are still plenty of targets left, and the director of operations for the Pentagon made clear that the first night's strikes would not be the last.
You are seeing the beginnings of a sustained campaign, and strikes like this in the future can be expected.
The U.S. and its Arab partners launched a total of 168 weapons during a 4-hour period. This strike was against an ISIS training area. Almost all the weapons were precision-guided, and most of them were launched by the U.S. The opening salvo came from Navy ships, which launched more than 40 cruise missiles against an al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group known as Khorasan, which had established a safe haven in northern Syria.
This was the
way Lieutenant General William Mayville described the threat from Khorasan, it was probably the most important strike of the night.
We've been watching this group closely for some time. We believe the Khorasan group was nearing the execution phase of an attack either in Europe or the homeland.
Most of the weapons, however, were fired at ISIS targets, like this compound filled with vehicles. Before and after pictures show how a satellite-guided bomb took out just the one part of a building that ISIS was using as a command center. In another before and after sequence, a cruise missile swept a row of satellite dishes off the roof of an ISIS finance center without appearing to damage the rest of the building. On the opening night, ISIS was a sitting duck. But Lieutenant General Mayville doesn't expect that to last.
They are a learning organization, and they will adapt to what we've done and seek to address their shortfalls and gaps against our air campaign in the coming weeks.
The first night's strikes almost certainly disrupted the operations of both Khorasan and ISIS, but there's one thing the Pentagon has learned over the past 13 years, and that is that airstrikes alone will not defeat a terrorist organization.